Limits? You're seriously standing there looking at me and asking about limits. That's hilarious. Truly, it's like asking the sky if it ever worries about running out of air. People love that word. Limits. They wrap it around themselves like a warm, heavy blanket. It keeps them safe from the cold reality of failure. It gives them a convenient little excuse when they fall short. Oh, I reached my limit. Oh, I gave it my all, but that was just my peak. It's pathetic, really, but I guess it's necessary for the weak. If they didn't have limits to blame, they'd have to look in the mirror and admit they just didn't have the guts to bleed for what they want. Look at this. Between you and me, there is infinity. You can run toward me for the rest of your life, burn every ounce of energy in your body, and you will never, ever reach me. Why? Because I don't just manipulate space. I dictate reality. The closer you get, the slower you become, until eventually you just stop, frozen. That's what potential is actually supposed to be. Infinite. An endless, expanding stretch of space between who you are right now and the God you could become tomorrow. But most of you put up a brick wall after taking 2 miserable steps and call it the end of the road. You let the world, the cowards, the critics, the higher-ups who are terrified of what happens if you actually wake up, tell you where your ceiling is. They draw a line in the dirt, and you politely stop right behind it, wagging your tail. Not me. I looked at the ceiling of the world and I shattered it, just by being born. The very balance of the universe shifted because I took my first breath. That wasn't a fluke. That was a declaration. But here is the truly funny part. The part that you mediocre fools can never seem to grasp. I'm not standing at the pinnacle just because I was gifted. Sure, I have the 6 eyes. I have the limitless. I am unequivocally, undeniably the strongest. But being the strongest isn't just about the cards you're dealt. It's about having the sheer, unadulterated arrogance to look at the fabric of the universe and say, I make the rules now. I decide what is impossible. I've been torn to shreds, standing on the edge of death, and you know what I did? I didn't find a limit. I found a new beginning. Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. You want to talk about potential? Then stop whining about your starting line. Stop looking at your empty hands and complaining that nobody handed you a weapon. You think true power is given on a silver platter? Power is carved out of the world through absolute, borderline insane obsession. It's ripped from the jaws of your own failures. It is the unwavering, psychotic delusion that you are meant to stand above everyone else. When your lungs burn, you breathe deeper. When your muscles tear, you smile. Because weakness is finally leaving your body. You don't practice until you get it right. You grind, you suffer, and you break yourself down until it is physically impossible for you to get it wrong. Are you scared? Good, you should be. True potential is terrifying. It means letting go of every comfortable excuse you've ever hoarded. It means staring into the abyss, seeing the monsters staring back, and grinning, because they're trapped in there with you. So what is it going to be? Are you going to crawl back into your little box of limitations? Are you going to let the world dictate what your life is worth? Or are you going to step into the infinite? Pull off the blindfold. Open your eyes. Look at the vast, limitless expanse of what you can conquer, and take it. All of it. Surpass me. Well, try to, anyway. I'll be waiting at the top, but don't take too long. You know how easily I get bored. You're apologizing again. Honestly, it's exhausting to listen to. Oh, sorry for taking up space. Sorry for being too loud. Sorry for being a little too good at this. Why do people always want to shrink? You think playing small makes you noble? You think making yourself digestible for the weak makes you a good person? Newsflash, it just makes you a stepping stone, a completely forgettable footnote. Look at me. Look closely. Do you think I have ever, in my entire 28 years of existence, apologized for being the absolute strongest? If I started apologizing for the insurmountable gap between me and the rest of the world, I'd be talking until my throat bled. And frankly, I have way better things to do, like finding limited edition sweets in Ginza. Look at the higher-ups in the jujutsu world. A bunch of dusty old tangerines trembling behind paper screens, clinging to their outdated traditions because they're terrified of actual unbridled power. They hate me. They call me arrogant, insubordinate, a monster wearing a human face. And you know what I do? I laugh in their faces. I mock them, because their opinions hold exactly zero weight in my reality. Why should I lower my head to people who wouldn't even survive standing in my shadow? Let me explain something to you about the world. It doesn't respect humility. Humility is a comfortable little shield for the insecure. The world respects gravity. It respects the people who walk into a room and completely alter the atmosphere just by breathing. When I was born, the balance of the entire world shifted. Curses got stronger just to survive my mere existence. Did I write a formal apology to the universe for throwing it off its axis? Obviously not. I embraced it. You know how my limitless works. The closer things get to me, the slower they move, until they stop completely. That's not just a curse technique, kid. That's a mindset. I don't let the noise, the doubts, the pathetic little insecurities of ordinary people touch me. They hit the infinity between us and freeze, because I know exactly who I am, and I make zero excuses for it. You're worried about people thinking you're arrogant. If you have the strength to back it up, it's not arrogance, it's an objective fact. Is the ocean arrogant for drowning a bug? Is the sun arrogant for blinding you when you try to stare at it? No. It simply is. It exists in its absolute, terrifying glory. Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. I didn't ask for permission to claim that title. I didn't take a poll to see if it hurt anyone's feelings. I felt the fabric of the universe, looked at everything living and dead, and realized, yeah, it's me. I'm the pinnacle. And I smiled. So why are you bowing your head? You have a spark, something decent brewing inside you, and you're trying to smother it so the fragile egos around you don't shatter. How profoundly boring. If they feel insecure, that's their problem. Let them cry. Let them complain that the world isn't fair. Spoiler alert, it isn't. I'm living, breathing proof of that. Confidence without apology. That's the only way to survive in a world entirely populated by curses and cowards. You don't ask to be great. You just take the space. You look the universe dead in the eye and say, I am here, and I'm not moving. If someone tells you you're too much, tell them to go find less. Because the view from the absolute top, it's completely unobstructed. And honestly, it's beautiful. Now chin up, stop whining, and if anyone tries to drag you down to their level, well, just obliterate them. It's really that simple. You know, it's actually hilarious. I sit in these meetings with the higher-ups, these shriveled, dusty old men hiding behind their little paper screens, and I can practically hear their hearts beating out of their chests. They reek of it. Fear. Stagnation. The overwhelming, pathetic scent of people who have clung to authority for so long they've completely forgotten what real power actually looks like. And the absolute funniest part? They think they're still the ones making the rules. They genuinely believe they're holding the leash. Let's get one thing straight. The only reason this entire rotten, archaic system hasn't collapsed into a pile of ash is because I allow it to exist. That's not a boast. It's just a biological fact. Throughout heaven and earth, well, you already know the rest. I'm the strongest. I could wipe out every single one of those conservative relics before my blindfold hits the floor. It would take me, what, 5 seconds? Maybe 10 if I decide to take the scenic route. But what would that actually accomplish? A bloodbath? Sure, but ultimately, nothing. If I just slaughter everyone at the top, they'll just be replaced by another batch of terrified cowards. A new group of traditionalists obsessed with pedigree, obsessed with how things have always been done. It's a decaying cycle, a rusted wheel spinning in the mud, crushing anyone with an ounce of genuine potential just because they don't fit perfectly into their obsolete little boxes. I despise them. I really do. Their traditions, their rules, their arrogance. It's all a joke compared to absolute strength. So I chose a different path. Education. Sounds boring, right? The great Satoru Gojo, playing teacher. But think about it. How do you actually destroy a system that's been festering for 1,000 years? You don't just break the ceiling. You tear out the foundation and build something completely unrecognizable on top of it. You flood the board with pieces so overwhelmingly powerful, so unhinged and brilliant, that the old rules simply stop applying. That's what I'm doing. I'm raising monsters. I'm finding the outcasts, the ones the establishment once executed. The kids with zero cursed energy who can shatter mountains. The ones possessed by the king of curses himself. I'm taking every anomaly, every glitch in their perfect little matrix, and I'm sharpening them. I'm giving them the freedom to be strong, to be crazy, because to survive in this world, to actually shift the balance of power permanently, you can't just be a good little soldier. You have to be a little bit insane. The establishment looks at my students and sees liabilities. They see ticking time bombs. I look at them and see the future. They think they can push back. They try to rig the events, send my kids on suicide missions, manipulate the grades. It's cute, like watching ants try to coordinate an attack on a hurricane. They don't realize the storm is already here. The paradigm is already shifting, and I am standing right at the epicenter, acting as the ultimate shield, making sure nobody touches my students until they are strong enough to rip this entire society apart with their own two hands. I don't just want a reform. Reforms are for politicians. I want a complete, undeniable reset. And it's going to happen. You want to know why I'm so confident? Because they have me, the pinnacle, the limitless. As long as I'm breathing, the old guard is on borrowed time. Every day I smile at them. It's a reminder that their era is ending. Every time I act like an idiot, it's just to show them how completely unthreatened I am by their entire existence. So let them plot. Let them scramble behind their screens and draft their little execution orders. It doesn't matter. The system is already dead. It just hasn't realized it yet. Just watch. The new world is going to be a masterpiece, and I'll be right here, laughing as the old one burns. Because when you're the strongest, the world doesn't dictate terms to you. You dictate terms to the world.